Hi, I'm Olivia at CareerFoundry, and in this video, our senior program advisor Kevin will shed some more light on German bureaucracy, specifically around the Bildungsgutschein. I know it's a very long German word, but it's an educational voucher which might be interesting for you. He will shed some more light on the eligibility, how to apply for it, and also what to do as a next step once you receive it. So stay tuned, enjoy the video, and all the links you need are in the description. Hi Kevin, nice to see you today.
Hi Olivia.
Just quickly introduce yourself to us.
Sure. So I'm a senior program advisor here at CareerFoundry. I've been working with the company for over 5.5 years, always been based here in Berlin. And of course, I've been talking to customers from around the world, not just, of course, individuals related to the Agentur Für Arbeit or the Bildungsgutschein, but even individuals who are looking to take our program privately. But it's really, I just talk to customers, figure out a little bit about their background, of course, answer any questions they may have, and help them decide maybe what direction is best for their career. As you just stated, it's an educational voucher. It's just a document, right? It's just a piece of paper from the Agentur für Arbeit, Jobcenter, or the Arbeitsamt that it basically says that the government is going to pay for training on your behalf. So in case you're eligible for this, you can get this opportunity to take some free training to better yourself, to learn some new skills, whether of course related to us as Weiterbildung or other opportunities. But it's just a great option, of course, to say, hey, I happen to be unemployed and eligible for these benefits. Now, of course, I want to get this training, and that's what that document is there specifically for. It's not just one type of person or one background. Typically, individuals who are unemployed would be important to, of course, be eligible for the Gutschein. Also, you need to be a legal resident in Germany. You don't necessarily have to be a citizen, right? But you have to be a legal resident here. You do also typically have to have some employment history in Germany, usually full-time, but some part-time workers can actually be eligible as well, as long as they're working about 20 hours or more per week. But essentially you just have to be, here in Germany with some work history, or maybe married to somebody who actually has work history in Germany. Typically you have to have around B1 level German. Some places though don't require that, meaning some states or regions in Germany, because I've had quite a few students actually get a Gutschein, don't speak any German, and they actually were able to get that, which is pretty awesome, because most of the time they do have to have around B1 level German. So unfortunately, there's certain instances where an individual would not be eligible. First off, if you're on a student visa, right? So if you're actively taking a master's degree or a bachelor's degree, the government really would like for you to focus on those studies, and then upon graduation, you might be eligible after you get your job seeker visa. Otherwise, if you don't have enough German, of course, that might be another thing. But if you are also a refugee or an asylum seeker coming to Germany, if your case is still pending, unfortunately, you wouldn't be eligible just yet. But once that's done and finalized, certainly feel free to go to the local government office in your area and request an appointment and speak with somebody. So definitely, it's very important to be prepared for this appointment, because remember, you are asking the government for financial support. So when you go in, maybe put together a presentation, or at least speak with a program advisor such as myself or one of my associates, so that they can help you understand exactly what you should do for that first appointment. So they can talk about, hey, here are some documents that we can provide that explain exactly the type of training that we provide and how it might be beneficial for you. So when you talk to your advisor, you want to basically say, hey, this is the reason why I need this training. These are some of the skills that I'm still missing, right? And of course, this is what it's going to do for me to make me more marketable thereafter, right? So if you wanted to put together a presentation, I would recommend maybe 4 quick slides. The first slide should be your motivation statement. Why exactly do you want to become a designer, a developer, an analyst, things like that? Then what skills you already have that relate to the field that you're going to study here at CareerFoundry. Then, of course, the skills that you're still missing, right? And why you still need those skills, of course. And then you'd want to talk a little bit about the markets. That would be the last slide. Just say, these are the amount of jobs that I'm finding in my area. These are some specific examples that I would be qualified for. Because they're going to take this request and pitch it to their leadership, and the leadership has the final say. So you're kind of doing a little bit of scratching their back so they can scratch yours. Remember, this course has to be considered a Weiterbildung for those who don't speak German, such as myself. I just know this one word. It means upskilling, right? So when the government is looking at this request of yours, they want to see if it's going to really enhance some skills you already have. Now, that doesn't mean that they won't necessarily support a career change. I have had students in the past that will be eligible for a Gutschein in that specific situation, but those are rare exceptions rather than the norm. So usually you have to have some transferable skills. I talk to actually a lot of architects. Architects, of course, you would think that an architect gets really paid very well, has amazing creativity, just the ability to do what they want when they want. Yeah, that's not reality. Unfortunately, architects, as I imagine that there are architects listening to this video or watching this video, they're overworked, underpaid, unappreciated, and it's not very creative, right? So they look to get into UX design, and these individuals, they have a great, experience and transferability, of course, into the world of UX and UI, and they make this transition relatively easily, of course, So this is the thing, just because you work in a different field, in a different job title, that doesn't mean that you can't necessarily make a change. Think about those soft skills you have. That might be the things that you can capitalize upon. So it all starts with, scheduling a call to speak with a program advisor. I imagine there's going to be a link, of course, on the screen here for you. So then, of course, once you have that appointment, typically takes 25 to 30 minutes where you can have a nice one-on-one discussion with the program advisor to figure out, this is what I'm really thinking about doing with my career. Do you think it's a good idea? Should I maybe consider other opportunities? Or maybe nothing that we offer is a right fit. That happens sometimes, right? Then we would provide you with the documentation that you can take along to your appointment, give you some additional tips and tricks so you can be truly prepared, and then we would be able to follow up with you throughout the process. So anytime you have questions or concerns, you need to provide updates, you would reach out to your dedicated program advisor, and they can always point you in that right direction. And then when you get your actual Gutschein, first off, congratulations, cheers, bravo. Then you need, of course, contact us again and let us know, hey, good news, I got my Gutschein. What do I do next? And then, of course, the program advisor would reach out to the AFA team, the Agentur für Arbeit team here at CareerFoundry, and we would actually put you all in contact with each other to start the enrollment process here at CareerFoundry, which, by the way, can take up to 10 business days from the date that you receive your Bildungsgutschein. Then there's a little bit of an admissions process where we have to help you with filling out a profile survey, taking a little admissions test. Anybody's worried about that, it's not an aptitude test, it's just making sure you understand the type of training we provide and how to perform yourself or conduct yourself accordingly throughout the training. And then, of course, we'll fill out the Gutschein for you. So you'll have to mail the paperwork to our office and we'll send it back to the Agentur für Arbeit directly. And then, of course, you get to start the training from there. And all of our programs start every 2 weeks, typically on a Monday, unless Monday's a holiday here in Germany. Then it'll be the following Tuesday. So it's case by case dependent. It also depends on if you're in a big city or a small little town in Germany, but it can range anywhere from 2 weeks up to 6 months. I've had some individuals take a while. It's just sometimes it's really difficult to get that first appointment, and then when they have the first appointment, then it takes a while for them to make their decision. So it's pertinent to be, or it's imperative to be patient with them. Remember, you're asking for help, right? So also, it's important to note that you do typically need to speak German during your appointments. So if you don't speak German, bring along a friend, a family member, or you can actually ask the Agentur für Arbeit to hire a translator for you, right? So they can have you there, they have them on site to go through and explain and talk on your behalf to, of course, make sure that there aren't any, misunderstandings amongst each party. Yeah, so it's important to really talk to the organization or the job center or Agentur für Arbeit in your particular area. But if you're planning to relocate, then it's important to really move first, get registered in that new town, and then, of course, go ahead and register with the Agentur für Arbeit to speak with a representative. Because if you try to start the process while you're in a town that you're leaving relatively soon, they're not going to help you. As soon as they find out you're moving, they're going to say, hey, first transition, and then go ahead and get the process started again. The easiest way is to use Google. Just type in Job Center near me or Agentur für Arbeit near me. Job Center is probably a bit easier to type out, right? Just type that in, and then you'll find, of course, the local office from there, and then you would register through their website, or you might want to go there in person. So if you happen to be becoming unemployed, if you know that your contract end date is within 90 days, then you need to go ahead and register. You're supposed to register as unemployed 90 days prior to any contract end dates, or from the time that you receive any notification that you're being let go or something like that. So you need to register as soon as possible so that they can get that ball rolling, because again, this process can take some time. Now, the first appointment that you might have may not be solely focused on the Gutschein. It might be more about what kind of benefits might you be eligible for as far as unemployment money, or Arbeitslosengeld 1 or 2 or things like this. And then you can discuss any additional details thereafter. But probably that first appointment might be most about your personal profile, getting your profile set up in the Agentur für Arbeit website, right? And then figuring out what your career objectives are. And then you can maybe talk more about your longer term or maybe more midterm range where you want to need that Gutschein and some additional training. The most common question I get asked is, what direction do you think is the right fit for me? That's the first thing. And of course, I can't answer that in this particular video. That's where that one-on-one free consultation call is imperative. That way you can get that direct, personal consultation that might fit you specifically, right? The other thing, of course, would be, again, how long this process could take, right? What are some of the other eligibility requirements, or some of the legal ramifications of getting the Gutschein, and what happens if you can't finish the program, things like this. But overall, during that call is where I can really answer a lot of those detailed questions on a more personal basis. So of course, if you do get rejected the first time, don't lose hope. What I would suggest is try again. And if anything, try to maybe talk to a different advisor, because every advisor is a bit different. Some of these advisors are very in tune with technology, right? And the way the market's headed and the need for tech specialists in Germany, while others a bit more traditional, right? Nothing against them, but sometimes they are very set in stone and they don't really want to think outside the box, right? So of course, if you get rejected the first time, try to request an appeal or request a secondary opinion from a different advisor. And if you did go to their first appointment and maybe you didn't have that presentation that I talked about earlier in this video or this conversation, maybe it's a good idea to go ahead and get that put together, because it just shows that you're professional. Matter of fact, just last week I spoke to a customer who said, hey, that presentation you told me to build, it worked perfectly, right? I went into my appointment, the lady was like, wow, this is extremely perfect. This is exactly what I need. Thank you for your preparedness and your professionalism. They took it to their boss and immediately got an approval. So it can work. Of course, we're only dealing with 6 different topics, UX, UI, web development, data analytics, digital marketing, and product management. That doesn't mean that that's the only programs they offer. I believe the Agentur für Arbeit supports over 3.3 million different training opportunities. And we're just 6 of those, right? So of course, when you're dealing with the government, you want to basically exactly educate them, inform them as much as possible to kind of shape their opinion as well in your favor. Yeah, ZFU, AZAV, and DECRA. Yeah, we're triple certified, of course, for all of the programs. It's a prerequisite to even offer our programs and products through the Agentur für Arbeit or even through customers in Germany. So we make sure that, of course, we go through these rigorous certification processes for each of our programs, so we abide by the German regulations, but also to ensure that each of our students are basically getting access to the latest and greatest in training and, of course, the highest quality possible. Well, of course, it's CoursNet. CoursNet, I don't know the exact URL, but of course, when they go to their first appointment with the Agentur für Arbeit, they will give them the access to that, of course, because you have to log into the system. But then, I must say that CoursNet is a bit tricky and cumbersome to deal with, right? It's one of those things that might need some good UX actually focused on it, but it's where you can go in and start searching for keywords and opportunities, and you can kind of sift through those 3.3 million opportunities to find the right one for you. Not necessarily. So it's not like a legal requirement. It's just that when the government or the advisor is looking at your particular request, they're always worried about, if we invest this money in you, what's going to stop you from getting a job, right? And so they're looking at certain factors. Okay, again, the transferable skills you have or may not have. Then the language requirement or the language skills, right? So if you're in a smaller town, right, or maybe outside of Berlin, that's where the need for German is quite important, right? Because I know, yes, we're dealing with tech jobs. Not every company, though, is only solely focused on English skills, okay? So they might be more heavily focused on the German skills. So it really is, again, depending on where you are, how important that German requirement is. So at the moment, we have 6 different programs. So first off is user experience design. Second is user interface design. Third is web development or full stack web development. The next one will be digital marketing, right? And then product management. And finally, data analytics. But of course, all of these programs have different durations and of course, different topics, right? So the durations of these programs can range anywhere from 3.5 months full-time up to 12 months part-time. So all of our programs are available both full-time or part-time, although full-time is typically the default duration that the advisors of the Agentur für Arbeit want you to have, because they want you to be as job ready as soon as possible. But in case you have maybe young children, right? Or maybe you're a freelancer and have some side gigs that you're allowed to continue to work on, part-time would be a bit better for you, right? Because then you only need to do 20 hours a week instead of 40 hours a week, right? So there's much more flexibility with that. So in case you again have young children you got to take care of, you need to have that peace of mind, knowing that in case they're stuck home, sick and things like that, you can still be there to take care of your family, but have enough adequate time to study here and there. Of course, you need to be ready to study online. That doesn't mean you have to study by yourself, okay? Because all of our training is done remotely, but we do pair each student with a tutor and a mentor who are either designers, developers, analysts, and these individuals work out there in the field. They work for us as well as freelancers, and they're there to give you more one-on-one support, right, when you need it. Because all of our programs and products are project-based, so they're not theory, which is awesome. That's why our graduates have such success getting jobs upon completion of our programs, because you walk away with a solid portfolio. You have that muscle memory knowing this is how to do my job. It may not necessarily be on real world projects, but it's for real world scenarios and problem sets, right? And that's why companies are appreciative of the students that they talk to from CareerFoundry, because it's something they can work with. It's not somebody who's completely junior to this idea that they have no idea how to do the job and have to be taught from day one, so they can hit the ground running, which is super, super important. Well, of course, all of our programs are a bit different, but there are longer providers out there. There's some providers out there that their programs last 12 months or longer. There are also much more expensive programs out there as well. We feel that our program is right in that sweet spot. We're not too short, we're not too long, and in fact, we don't really like to consider ourselves a boot camp, more of a certified program provider. So to shorten the program, possibly. It depends on how much questions you ask and how much back and forth you have with your tutor regarding all your portfolio work. So if you also have already existing knowledge related to the field of study that you're doing with us, then certainly there's nothing to hold you back from finishing faster. Now, in case you need more time, there's only a few exceptions that you could have or reasons why. First thing, of course, if you're sick, right? If you're sick and you're sick for a few days, get a doctor's note. That's okay. Give us a copy and we'll add extra time to the program. You are also allowed up to 21 days of vacation while you're unemployed, right? Which is pretty freaking cool if I think about it as an American. How can you get, vacation days when you're unemployed? But hey, 2 thumbs up to Germany. But of course, if you need to go on vacation, ask your advisor at the job center, ahead of time. Say, hey, I need to go on vacation. Summer's coming up. I got some time to spend with the family. Then, as long as they give you the green light, we're okay with that. We'll add extra time to the program so you can just, decompress, focus on your family or yourself, and just travel the world and enjoy yourself. So the so what behind everything, right? So what happens, of course? Well, we here at CareerFoundry provide each student with complimentary career services. So it's not something extra you'd have to pay for, which is already an amazing additional service. So what we do is we pair each student with a dedicated career specialist, and then you would get access to something we call the job preparation course, the job prep. And this is where you work closely with your career specialist to go ahead and revamp your resume, showing you how to write cover letters, of course, so that you do get invited to interviews more often than not. They're also going to help you with, of course, updating your LinkedIn profile to make sure that matches your new resume. And then they're even going to do practice interviews or mock interviews with you as much as necessary, because, if you've never done an interview for a tech job, right, it could be very scary, right, and, worrisome. So you want to try to be prepared and avoid that imposter syndrome. So you can do as many practice runs with your career specialist as necessary. They can even help you put together a strategy, like a networking strategy and job searching strategy, so you know what to do for this process, and even learning from common mistakes that have been made by students in the past so that you don't make those same issues, right? So you want to basically go in and make sure you're fully prepared, but even during the job search, we're even going to help you with providing you with periodic job posting recommendations based on your specific needs. So we're not going to dictate your future. We're not going to say, hey, you landed this job, you're in this area, you need to take this offer, right? No, it's like, so where exactly do you want to head with your career? Let us know your specific preferences, right, and your parameters, and we'll support you accordingly. And another nice thing is that the services that we provide for career services last a lifetime, right? So anytime you need our help in the future, we're always there to go to bat for you. Another common question I get asked, though, related to the career services is also the job guarantee, because we do actively promote that on our site. The job guarantee is a 100% money-back guarantee if you don't get your job within 6 months from graduation. And when you're getting the Bildungsgutschein, of course, you didn't pay for the training out of your pocket directly. Therefore, the job guarantee or the refund policy does not apply, but all the career services that I've described thus far certainly do. Typically 2 to 3 months. Now, of course, with somebody who has a lot of experience, maybe related to the field, maybe maybe a month or so. Somebody who's maybe completely brand new to that field, it might take a bit longer, but the average right now, 2 to 3 months. So of course, is to schedule a free consultation with the program advisor, right? So in the description, that's where you can find a link. And then of course, from there, you can open up the calendar and see potentially what calendar window might be, an appointment window would be best for you. and then just, wait for your appointment. You don't really have to don't feel like it's an interview, right? Seriously, it's just a conversation. It's just a little, nice discussion where you can kind of describe yourself, your background, again, what your career objectives are, any questions or concerns you may have, and then we can, of course, point you in the right direction from there. And there's certainly no obligation as well during this call. So just because we've talked, there's no need for you to say, hey, I have to work with CareerFoundry, although we would love that. Yeah, for sure. Directly on our homepage, of course, we have an events page. So in the top, you can just click on that to see upcoming events. We also, of course, publish events on Eventbrite, right? So if you go to Eventbrite and check out there and just type in CareerFoundry, you can find events there as well. All of the events are free, right? Typically come with refreshments and, of course, good time to fellowship and get to meet either other students or graduates, right? Or, just myself or, of course, you. Okay, so the top three, again, be prepared, right? Be kind and be patient.
Love it.